Oh,
Family film.
yeah.
Yeah, family comedy about a little boy who's been raised underground by these creatures called Boxtrolls. And he spent his whole life growing up underground, and it's a story of how he comes above ground to find out who he is and where he fits in the world. And Boxtrolls are mischievous
Yeah.
but shy
Very
creatures.
timid.
Yeah.
Timid creatures, yeah.
They live beneath the streets of Cheesebridge, and they're called Boxtrolls because they wear cardboard boxes, the same way turtles wear their shells.
I think the funnest part for us as directors is the fact that every day a new shot would get finished. I mean, other forms of animation, hand-drawn 2D or CG, the animation goes through a lot of layers and a lot of levels, and it takes a long time to see a finished shot. But with stop motion, I mean, every day, every week, brand new finished shots would show up in front of us, and it was just amazing to watch the movie come together like that.
Yeah.
Just nuggets of beautiful things.
The hard part was before you get to see the finished shot
Yeah.
coming up, all this effort that you've put into preparing a sequence to be launched comes down to one meeting that you have with the animator before he goes out onto the set, which is taking months to build, and the puppets, which has taken months and months to build, and the faces, which have had to be printed off this 3D rapid prototype. You launch him, and then he animates it, and it's like a performance. He doesn't have a lot of time to do blocks or rehearsals and stuff. He moves that puppet around that set, and that's what you get. And that, after all that preparation, it comes down to just that one moment where you launch that guy, and then 2 days, 3 days, or maybe a week later, the shot is done. You don't always get exactly what you wanted. Every day's a surprise.
Directing is 90% casting, and we were really fortunate that at Leica, this is the third film now that this incredible band of people have stuck together to make, and we benefited so much from the experience of all of them. I mean, we had to get out of their way a lot of the time.
Yeah, you know, if the definition of craftsmanship is doing a good job for its own sake, that's like the definition of stop motion, because so many of these people have to get launched on something, and then we're on to something else, and it's really up to them how far they're going to take it to execute it. And I think you can look at this, every cobblestone, every chair, every box troll, you know, the third box troll from the left is boxes as lovingly rendered as the hero box trolls. And that happens all the way through. And you can't make people do that unless they're really in love with what they're doing.
I worked as a storyboard artist on Coraline years ago, and when they announced that the film was going to be shot in 3D, I thought, kind of a gimmick. We're going to be on the bandwagon with everyone else. And then when the first shots started showing up in the viewing theater, it was like, whoa, no, actually, for this medium, stop motion, 3D truly enhances the experience. It really brought me back to those days as a kid with a Viewmaster reel, and you'd look through and you could feel those dioramas that they built in there. Something about 3D, it just elevates that experience. It really immerses you in the movie, and we shoot the film in 3D. It's not a post-production type thing. It's planned and thought of in 3D right from the get-go, and I think you really feel that difference.
Since it's integrated from the beginning, it's a lot less painful on the eyes. So you get to enjoy it, and it's there, and it's easy. You know, it's easy to take. And then, you know, we have the moments where there's stuff come out of the screen too, where we want to, but we don't. We try not to have them call attention to themselves, because anything like that kind of throws you out of the story for a while. Instead, you're just going, oh, this is the part where the tomatoes come out of the screen and stuff. So yeah, we try to constantly try to avoid them. And we try to use it like you use all art direction. It should be a little bit subconscious, a little subliminal, like color and music and stuff, and not too ostentatious.
I mean, you know, we had our little wish list of who we thought could be in this film and who we thought would fit. But honestly, I didn't think we'd truly end up with the cast that we got. You know, neither Tony and I thought Sir Ben would actually do an animated feature. We really wanted him, but it was kind of a long shot to think that he would do it. And when he signed up for it, it was unbelievable what he brought to our villain Snatcher. I mean, you know, we had an idea of what we thought our villain was going to be from the script and the storyboards, but when Sir Ben's voice performance got added into the mix, the character became a whole other thing that it just added so much more nuance and depth to it.
And I think we're a smaller studio, you know, independent filmmaker. So, you know, these guys aren't getting paid, but they get paid when they do the bigger studio animated films. So, you know, we always send them a copy of our 2 previous films and ask them. So I think a lot of them did. I know Nick Frost did it because he's a big animation dork, and Simon Pegg too. You know, I mean, they did it out of curiosity about the process and everything.
Right.
Richard Iowade is a director in his own right and stuff, and he always liked asking about how things were done. So we just lucked off into a really great group of people too, and they were willing to stick with us when our story changes were coming through, or when some of the requests were rather odd, like, Sir Ben, you have to do this dialogue, but you have to do it like your whole face is swollen up and you only have a tiny little mouth. And he had no idea what we were talking about, but he went along with it.
It's a film for everyone. It's a film about family. I mean, that's what attracted me to the story. Originally, it was just this awesome dynamic of these weird, timid, eclectic creatures, the Boxtrolls, taking care of this little boy and being his surrogate family. That was just such a unique dynamic and so much fun that, yeah, for me, this film's always been about families and how they come in all shapes and sizes.
When everything in the movie theater is just getting bigger and louder, and there's Transformers and there's Pacific Rim monsters and stuff, and you just don't think that you're ever going to be able to see anything different anymore, go to see the Boxtrolls. It's an epic in miniature, and it literally is something you've never seen before. And it's not just because it's exploding.